Hey everyone, how are we doing? We're going to have a quick wee recap of the season so far, and then we'll have a look at some of the bits and pieces that have happened, and we'll have a quick wee run through of what we think might be coming up into the next season as well. So as we say, this season finishes and the new one starts on the 25th of August, meaning that we only have 5 days left in which to complete all of our quests and also get to level 200 and unlock all of the alternative skins for some of the skins and characters that we had in the battle pass. If you are having trouble with your quest completions, or you're stuck on a few bits and pieces, jump onto my channel. I have completion guides for everything quest related in Fortnite for this season, and I'll also be doing it again for the coming season next week as well, so make sure that you're subscribed to the channel for that. So let's get into it. What did we find out this season? What was brand new? Well, there is one there. Paradise Musicals was introduced into the season as a part of a summer theme, but what more importantly that kind of has driven the story behind Fortnite so far this season has been the introduction of the ruins area and some of the event quest type of things that have been going on into the game as well. The ruins have kind of featured reasonably well within the snapshot quests that we've had, and also kind of some of the changes throughout the map over the course of this season as well. And we'll have a look at all of this coming up in a moment once the second part of the trailer kind of completes as well. The raptors were introduced into the game as well, which makes them quite a fun mount to use rather than just the wolves and the boars. They've been quite good. I know we've had raptors in previous seasons where we could tame them, but if I remember right, I don't think we could ride them then, so it makes a big difference here. Also, we've kind of got the vine systems that we can grind rail on that we only had at Mega City beforehand. So, you know, it's made for an interesting season. We've also seen the introduction of Optimus Prime, and, you know, the temple ruins seem to be connected into him and the Autobots, and we'll talk a wee bit more about that as we get into the video as well. This season also seen the reintroduction of Sloane, which I don't think very many people would have expected to have seen, certainly not this close after her being defeated previously with the Imagined Order. So seeing her kind of walking about the middle of the woods, and then a bit later on part of the snapshot quest line, which actually ties in quite nicely towards the tail end of this. If you haven't done that snapshot quest, get on it. It kind of fills in a bit of details and gives you a bit more of a hint towards the new season coming, but we'll get into that a bit later on. So first up, the bit we're going to be looking at is what happened to the Herald. If you remember from the previous season when the map was introduced, you know, we had a tree. The Herald was encased in the tree, the shape of her face was on it. However, the back end of that tree had looked like something had burst out of it, but never came to fore as to what happened to the Herald. Where is she? What's she doing now? Will she be coming back? And this area now is filled with live trees. The dead ground is now covered in grass, and we've also got a log cabin there. So, you know, it does ask the question of, you know, is she going to make a reappearance in the next season? Is the foretelling of this storyline hinting at something bigger and badder yet to come? And will she play a part in that? So it'd be interesting to find out if that will be anything at all to do with it or not, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. With the introduction of the previous season titled Mega, we had Mega City appear, and as part of the kind of snapshot storylines that happened through that, we were introduced to a new faction called the Peace Syndicate. And the Peace Syndicate, throughout that process, you were basically proving to them that you were worthy of being included into the overall scheme of things that's happening, and driving that storyline together back into it, although they haven't really been mentioned an awful lot in the new season that we're just about to complete. Sloane makes reference to them about, you know, you being the hero that they said you would be. Aura, in her snapshot, I think mentions them once or twice as well. So it's going to be interesting to see, do the Peace Syndicate start to play a bigger part? Will we get a bit more visibility about them, what their goals and their aims are, and how that's going to impact on the storyline going forward as well? Back to the ruins, underneath the area where you can hire the NPC insight, right into this kind of boils off that ruined building, is this kind of archaeological dig site where, you know, if you touch the element in front of the Autobots symbol, you would get a projection of Optimus Prime, and he would deliver a part of the storyline. What's interesting here is on that wall there, we're seeing part of the apparatus with 5 circles above it. Now, those circles in themselves, the hint is for next season it's going to be entitled Eclipse, which kind of ties in a wee bit nicely there, because you see on the Autobot wall there, it's almost like a solar system. We've got a number of what looks like planets, potentially even moons, and if they all line up, you're going to end up with an eclipse. So it all kind of ties together. And an interesting point I'm kind of looking at here is we've got this one where it looks like there is a figure wearing some kind of helmet or horned part of their head. You've also got 2 circles on it. One looks like it's a crescent moon and the other one looks like a full moon. But there's a diamond below it, so it's interesting. What does that diamond mean? But could this person be, if it is hinting at a person, could it be the Cube Queen? And the reason why I'm suggesting the Cube Queen is the Aura Snapshot quests spoke about the Cube of Catastrophe. Now, is this whole thing about preventing that coming back in and being used? As you can see on the Cube Queen's head there, you've got that kind of horned veil at the top of the part, and if she was to wear a robe or something, it could be that she could potentially be the person that's being hinted at as part of what we're seeing in the bowels of the ruins there. Just food for thought. It'd be interesting to see what anyone else thinks or what that might be or what it could be. But that's kind of where I'm hedging my bets at the moment, is there may be a reference to this. One of the things that you'll find as well is that Optimus Prime, in his warning in the ruins, but also, and we'll get onto that in a wee moment, is that he warns of something that's coming. The question is, what is it? One of the things as well with the Transformers is that they're also hinting a Transformers pack in October, which I did a video on previously of what that's going to be and the skins it's going to entail. So Megatron's in that. Is this for coming of Megatron and some sort of coven of evil that is going to try and take on the island? But this is kind of what we're looking at here. So we're coming out of the ruins. We're kind of running along from one side of the ruins area to the other, and within the top of this area, we're going to skip over this. We're going to drop down into the valley basin there. We've got a statue coming up here, but behind that statue we've also got a large ball, the 0 point. But it's, we'll have a wee look at that in a moment. But is it a coincidence in the middle there? Part of the Sloan snapshot timeline is, we've found this area where Trace is, where we've got the apparatus. We undergone a number of quests to get and refine kinetic ore, and that kinetic ore was then placed on this pedestal, which then started to fire up the apparatus itself, and it only had just shot a beam into the sky, and that beam in itself has now started to widen and is projecting a map onto the sky, and the map in itself is of the solar system. And that solar system, where is it? What's it detailing? Could it be Cybertron? Could it be somewhere else? But it seems to be a guide or some kind of warning device to tell us this is what it is, this is what it's pointed to. The next question is, what's coming from there? Is it a warning? Is it just throwing something up and saying, look, this is where the people who used to be here have gone? Certainly online and within the community, there seems to be a number of suggestions of what we might be looking at for the new season coming. Are we going to see the return of the Cube Queen? Are we going to see the Herald coming back? Are the Seven going to make a return? Are they going to be freed from wherever it is that they have disappeared off into the Chrome? Are we going to see the Chrome coming back? There's a lot of theories out there at the minute, so I think it makes good reading, and certainly if you've got the time, have a look at some of the stuff online. There's some interesting things. I did see one thing on YouTube where somebody had created a trailer for the brand new season, but actually made it look very much like the massive final battle in Avengers Endgame. It was really, really smart. I can't remember who it was that did it, but if you can find it, it is an immense trailer to watch. One of the things that Fortnite have hinted at today is that for next season they're talking about cameras, guards, vaults, and the best team in the business. Are you in? And it's it gives a picture of a building schematic. So is this going to be something that's going to be included in the new season as part and parcel of a map, or is it going to be maybe a subset of what you're going to need to do in the game, or is it just a creative map or something that they're hinting at? But it'll be quite interesting to see how that comes in. Plus they've hinted at a number of other bits and pieces through some of the larger content creators as well, throwing out wee clues here and there as to what the season may or may not be about. It's not been quite as well known or thrown out there as to what it's actually going to look like as far as I can see, but it'll be interesting to see how that ends up looking like. One of the things to look at now is going to be the transmission by Optimus Prime. If you haven't noticed it, there's a number of radio channels in the cars, but there's one that comes up as a mysterious signal, and it kind of tails off. It almost kind of tells you exactly the same thing if you activate it in the ruins, but it's Optimus Prime again giving you a warning, and we'll just listen to it now.
In the past, you must brave the unknown. Fight on and roll out.
So guys, just to finish up, we've seen quite a bit in this season already, kind of tying in with what we looked at from the end of last season, the things that have happened within this season, talked a little bit about, what might be coming as part of the new season. As I say, we'll see some teaser trailers from Fortnite and Epic Games coming out over the next couple of days as we tie up and into the new season. Here's food for thought. 0 Point is lying directly in between the apparatus and the ruins where we found the Autobot information, as well as the pictology to do with the eclipse and the movements off the moon into that transitional phase. So it'll be interesting, guys, to see what your thoughts and comments are on some of this stuff, and also chuck out anything else you might think that I haven't spoken about or covered. That is the video, guys. Thanks for sticking with it. Drop a like on it. Comments about what your thoughts and feelings are on this season and the new season coming. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. And remember, 5 days till the end. Enjoy. See you later. Bye bye.